Is WACK.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a time where we say good evening, good evening, good evening. It's about that time. We are live. We are live at Café Blue, Wrighton Road, San Fernando, Port of Spain. And we have a hot one for you today. So sit back, relax, get your wine, get your shandy. Get comfortable. It's time to enjoy some live jazz. This evening, we have none other than Rellon Brown and the Dominant 7 Calypso Jazz Band. So without any further ado, we go live. to turn you to our host, none other than the host with the most, Miss Josanne Leonard.
Thank you very much, Kenny Phillips of WACK FM, and sitting next to him is Carl Jacobs. Yes, my name is Josanne Leonard, and I'm extremely delighted and pleased to be with you here this evening as we kick in the second edition, or the second episode, rather, of the Live at Café Blue series. And this actually is not just about entertainment. I mean, it's entertainment, but it's serious business. This pandemic has really affected so many of us in so many different ways. But for artists, and particularly musicians, borders closed, live venues closed. A venue like Café Blues, which has really become a staple that in no time has filled such a gap in Trinidad and Tobago and has resonated throughout the region because the name Carl, and of course Carl and Carol Jacobs, is so synonymous with music. So we're really delighted. Last week we started off with Charmaine Ford and Nigel Campbell. And so I'm delighted to be the guest host this evening to talk with another really important and successful and nascent and all the other adjectives. But before I tell you who our guest is, well, you know who it is. I want to invite you. I mean, you're not coming to the venue in person. You're coming to the venue virtually. And we need for you to support. We need for you to support our artists and to support our creatives, because without music and without art, there really is nothing to life. So the numbers will be coming up on your screen, but I'll start off by giving you a reminder of what they are. It's 92251, that pledges $5. 92252, that pledges $10. 92253 pledges $20. And 92254 pledges $50. And this is a totally local meaning not just Trinidad and Tobago, but the entire region. And welcome wherever you are, and in our diasporas as well, on Facebook and on YouTube. Our technology partners, Blue Gurus Homegrown. You can make your pledges at FundMe TNT. That's FundMe TN, the letter N, T.com. So let's really get together and be part of an experience this evening. So I've given the kudos to Kenny and Carl and their respective powerhouse women behind them. That's Carol and Diane. And let me welcome to our set this evening, Rellon Brown of Dominant 7 Calypso Jazz Band. Welcome, Rellon.
Thank you, Josanne, and hello to everyone out there.
Okay, so we were really having quite a bit of a chat before. We were both kind of grooving to the theme song, which is a composition of Carl, I do believe.
No,
not Forward Home. I'm talking about the theme song for the series.
Yes.
So we kind of grooving to that. And then we went right into your band playing Andre Tanker's Forward Home.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about, who is Dominant 7? What are you about? What are your inspirations? Inspirations.
Yeah. I love Calypso. My father played Calypso in the house. He sang Calypso. He breathed Calypso. Okay, and he would quote Kitchener and Sparrow and all of these guys, and so I had a real appreciation for that kind of thing growing up. Okay, he also played jazz. Okay, and he was very respectful of the people who could play jazz. And so there was always this thing, what is this thing that you call jazz, right? And, in my very early 20s, I got the opportunity to start to learn to play an instrument. And, this is having sung in choirs and different calypso competitions and so on. And I found the two worlds started to come together. And there was a junction in which it actually happened at UE when you realize, I can do these two things, right? And as though there was the trepidation and the tension behind, whether I can do it. Every time a door opened, every time an opportunity opened, presented itself, the ability to meld the two things became even more realistic. And so said, so I formed a group. It was a rehearsal group, and eventually called the group Dominant 7th. And that group actually started with one of the founding members of the Charlie's Roots band. That is Von Rick Maynard. Yes, he was the first drummer. The first bass player was Russell Doherty, who is on the wall over there, the wall of fame over there. Marvin Newton was the guitarist. All right. Well, through several incarnations of the band, we've come to the place where we have a different group of people, but people even more connected and even more hive-minded into playing quality music, playing music that inspires, playing music that comes from us, but looks forward and kind of pulls us into a better reality.
Well, that's a really great intro, because what we want to do is we want to give our audiences an opportunity to listen to some of the music. So you have some of your fans,
Yes.
but we really have to make fans of new people.
Yes,
And this
that's
is what a
nice.
lot about what this series is about. It's not just about the known names per se, but it's also about us celebrating ourselves. So I'm going to let you introduce what's coming up next.
Josanne, before we go there, let's
Yes?
do some business.
Okay, this is the voice of God, Kenny Phillips, who's...
This is the voice of business. So we would like to thank some of our early contributors.
Okay.
And we'd like to thank Mr. Philip Rogers.
Philip Rogers.
Anonymous says, congratulations and best wishes. You make us proud. And Mr. Sean Wharton. And they have brought us immediately to 12.29%. And that deserves a round of applause.
Oh my goodness, I really don't know. Seeing as how I am a bebe where money is concerned, I don't know what 12.29% is, but that is absolutely amazing,
amazing
Kenny.
in double figures in the first, in the first song.
In the first song.
You
So before we go, before I have Rellon introduce the next 2 songs or 3 songs, just to encourage you to support our creatives, support our music, and this is quality coming to you live from Café Blue on a Wednesday evening in partnership with WACK FM. What can we look forward to, Rellon?
Immediately after I speak, you're going to hear 2 of my newest compositions. They are Piti Karim and Kamin.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, sure. You are listening to the Dominant 7. Good evening. Good evening. And you're listening to the Dominant 7 Calypso Jazz Band. My name is Rellon Brown, and this is the new normal for us. And so welcome to the live stream. Special thanks to Café Blue and Carl Jacob, and also Kenny Phillip of WACK Studios, WACK Radio. Our guest, our host this evening is going to be Josanne Leonard. And let me quickly introduce the names of the band. To my extreme right, there is, on keyboards, we have Mr. Brewster, Mr. Mark Brewster. On saxes and other mischief, we have Mr. Nicholas Sylvan. On trombones, we have Mr. Joshua Pasquale. On drums and percussion, we have Mr. Winston Matthew. And to my left, we have on bass, Mr. Nigel Batiste. And what you just listened to was a brand new minted original entitled Piti Karim. All right, Piti Karim is our Indian summer. Takes place between nice, brilliant sunshine, basically, in the rainy season between September and October. All right? Yeah. What we're going to do for you next is another original composition. It's entitled Come In. You know, we Trinidadians say, well, come in, right? It's actually based on the standard invitation, but we don't say, I'm extending an invitation. We say, come in. All right, so this is Come In. Yet another. Thank you very much. Okay.
And we throw to Josanne and Rellon.
Thank you very much, Kenny, and welcome back to all of you. Well, you didn't go anywhere. We went somewhere because, of course, we were looking at the earlier recorded performance, and this is the Live at Café Blue series coming to you from the most fantastic venue in the Caribbean. I mean, you have to be here. So as soon as they lift COVID restrictions, you have to make a visit to Café Blue, because this venue actually speaks about who we are. It captures the essence of who we are as Caribbean people. Everything that Carl has done in this venue, and talking about Carl Jacobs, Rellon, everything that he's done in this venue is really about us. And that's a kind of cultural confidence that really must be applauded. And then, of course, the sidekick, who is the accountant. The accountant, how are things going? Kenny Phillips, how are things going in terms of our entrance to the live series, to the live program?
Well, Josanne, we seem to be doing fine. We are at 12.62%, and we are moving in the right direction. Just know that it's fundmetnt.com, and you contribute. If you are sitting at home and enjoying this beautiful music, soothing music, it takes your mind away from the situation in front of you, you should contribute, because we are working. In fact, we're not begging, we are working, and when you work, you need to be paid. Okay? So, 12.62%. Just remember, you can do the texting to be mobile, 92251, $5, 92252 for $10, 92253 for $20, and 92254 for $50. Now, don't try to put $50 if you do have money on your phone. All right? Just know. And if you're enjoying this and not contributing, we have a term for you. It's called storming. You don't want to be a stormer. You know, contribute. Okay? Josanne?
Thank you very much, Kenny. You don't want to be a stormer. No, but I mean, really, this is, when you think about it, all of this creativity, all of this innovation, all of this creative expression. Rellon, we just heard 2 songs from you. Tell us a little bit, because these are really, those were original compositions.
Yes, they were, yeah.
And they are from your CD, your last CD, as I recall. No?
Actually,
or this is a new one?
No, these compositions are for our
upcoming new
sophomore
yes.
CD. Yeah,
that's a big fancy word, boy.
Yes,
sophomore?
second. It's supposed to mean second CD. Yeah, I tried
right. Okay.
Yeah, so our second CD is going to feature some more music. Of course, in the Calypso jazz vein as well. Okay. These 2 songs were actually written during the lockdown period. Yes.
Okay.
And they didn't start off as songs. Actually, they of course I have lots of free time. So when I'm not rehearsing or practicing, I'm writing. And just going through the motions and fitting things together, and realize, hey, this sounds really, really good. And a couple things worked, a couple things didn't. And I always have themes in the back of my mind, you know. So the Petit Karim theme has been along for me for a long, long time. And so I wanted to finally I was able to place it, and place it musically. And because I really like the theme. It's a very West Indian Caribbean theme, and I love Samuel Salvon. So when I read Samuel Salvon in secondary school, it was a coming of age, actually, because there was the first time I read somebody writing about us.
Wow, well, if I make a little plug there, because Sam Salvon is my family. My grandmother is a Salvon.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow. Yeah, so
that's her first cousin, Sam Salvon. Yeah.
Right. So Johnson and the Cascadoo, with that entire series, The Lonely Londoners, right? Plus others, Michael Anthony. These guys, in a literary sense, gave many Trinidadians and Tobagonians our identity, our sense of self, because coming out of the British system, you're fairly ensconced in British. What is British, right? And here comes this guy talking about the Cascadura and so on, and a lot of things, a lot of these things we ourselves had to research, because I didn't know about the Cascadura before. But then you realize, and you speak to your mom, you speak to your dad, you realize, yes, there is such a fish. And then there is this legend,
Those who eat the native Cascadura, those who eat the Cascadura, so the native legend says,
yes,
wheresoever they may wander, and in Trinidad there it is.
That's right.
And this lovely something island in this something sublime.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Johnson
West Indian readers, was that?
Yeah,
no?
yeah.
We kind of telling our age there.
Of course, I know.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I want my children to see and to appreciate about our culture. Of course I want to modernize it, and I want to package it so that it's appealing to them. But it's part of our thing, Invitation, but not invitation, but come in.
Come in as in come in.
Yes, as in come in.
Come in.
As in come in, yeah. It's almost one word, right? Come in. That as well as P.T. Karim are what you call contrafacts. So they are new melodies based on chords, right? So the first P.T. Karim is actually based on the jazz standard Autumn Leaves, and Come In was based on Invitation. All right. Now it's perfectly legal to do that. In fact, you have artistic license to do that. All right. It's not sampling per se, okay? Because you can't copyright a chord progression. All right. And it's a totally new melody. So, but the chords are so beautiful. I thought, during the course of course, the lockdown, you have lots of time. So, I'm working out, and you realize this thing. But I didn't want to leave the allure of Invitation. All right, so I call it Come In, as to kind of localize it.
Well, I want to chat with you a little more, but I first have to check with the man of the voice of God across there.
Of course.
To make sure that we're running on time, because of course we have so much more music.
Yes.
Well, more music to hear from Dominant 7,
yes.
Led by Rellon Brown. So Kenny, do we have a little more time for chat, or do we have to go to music? We go to the next set? So we can chat a little bit.
Right.
What I found interesting, Rellon, was that you made this connection between people who capture and who have written about the West Indian experience. And so the literary expression, when you talk about Sheldon, you talk about Michael Anthony, but then you're talking about a musician, someone who is composing music and notes, etc., and making it live now in a different form of creative expression. Is that something deliberate on your part, or it just happens?
It's something deliberate, because America, the United States of America, part of their foreign policy is to basically shove their culture down your throat. All right, I mean it's a kind of grotesque way of saying it, but they are very in your face with regards to their culture. Okay, and we as post-colonial people, we have a tendency to be very passive about who people say we are. All right, and you have to be fairly aggressive in that climate. Okay, I know, having done studies in cultural studies, I know that Canada, for example, has a very aggressive cultural policy that deals with America, because they are neighbors, and America is they have no qualms with aggressively exporting their culture. So Canada's cultural policy involves a lot of Canadian artifacts, a lot of Canadian cultural artifacts, and empowering their artists to produce more and more and more.
Well, I know this is a different kind of discussion,
yes.
but it's very connected, and we don't want to lose people with the
yes,
music.
Sure.
Because this is a time when we want people to really be able to take in the music.
Yeah.
But it's really great to know that there's an artist or there are artists thinking about the connections, about who we are and how we express ourselves. Yeah. And of course, the numbers are on your screen. This is not just about playing new music or introducing you to an artist, to those of you who do know, but let's get back to the music, and we'll have some more chat with you, Rellon. So let's introduce the next two songs.
Yeah, so the next two songs are, one is an original by myself, and the other is one by Earl Rodney. That's one of my favorite local arrangers and musicians. So I'll start with the second one first. The name of that is Peace Pipe.
Peace Pipe.
Yeah, and it actually appears on one of his albums, a 1973 Calypso jazz album. In fact, it's probably the first. It's not the first, but it's a seminal recording done way back in 1973, and so Peace Pipe first appears on that. And it's exactly what it is. Peace pipe, as in a slow, relaxing, communal sort of pace.
All right, so let's give the viewer and the listener the music. It's Peace
Sure.
Pipe and the original composition.
The original is first is the legend of the Cascadoo.
The Legend of the Cascadoo. So
Yes.
let's go.
Good evening once again, and remember the numbers on the screen. Those are the numbers to call and donate. Make sure that that you're supporting good local culture, right? Good local music. Okay. The next two songs. The next song we're going to do is another original entitled "The Legend of the Cascadoo." Okay. And we'll get into what the Cascadoo is. Many of the younger people may not know it. Okay. And then we do our first cover. It's a song by Earl Rodney called Peace Pipe.
Miss Josanne Leonard.
Okay, most of you who are looking at this program really don't know my history with Kenny Phillips. But what happens with Kenny Phillips stays with Kenny Phillips. And that's all I'm going to say. But we're so delighted that you're with us, that we're part of this brand new series. It's not new in terms of an idea, but it certainly is kudos to Carl Jacobs and Kenny Phillips and all of the amazing people around them, the teams that they have, the tech teams, people like myself, people like the artists, people who really believe that we can come together and that we can do something in this time of crisis. We can find the opportunity. And Rellon, you all have been doing a really great job so far.
Thank you.
In terms of sharing your music with Trinidad and Tobago, but also further afield, because of course this is what the internet and the live stream provides for us.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah?
Yes. And I'd like to quickly shout out, first and foremost, my lovely wife, Liana, and my two sons, my two strong young men, Osei and Okira Brown. Second, the Brazilians, they would know it's not the Brazil of South America, it's the Brazil of Trinidad, the Brazilians.
Oh, Brazil, like in Central?
Yeah,
okay,
the Brazilians.
Cool. Okay.
All right. The Right and Honorable Uncle Philip, who is also known as Preacher, or Preach, and the Coffee Children. That's the name of the WhatsApp chat. Sean Walters, Wayne Haywood, and Elta Cumberbatch, another family. She's in Venezuela. Jeremy Chatur, who did our first CD. He was the saxophonist on our first CD. And a good friend of mine who is residing now in France, Rennie Placid.
You have a real long shout-out list there.
Yeah.
But talking about shout-out, Kenny, do we check in with you to see where we are in terms of the people who are paying to come into this great concert series started by Café Blue and WACK?
Of course.
Okay. The accountant, we call him.
The voice of...
The voice of God.
All right. We would like to thank, let me get it going here, Mr. Sean Wharton, Mr. Wayne Haywood. The All Caribbean Jazz Show donated, said, I'll support Rellon in any way, always. Ms. Deanna Fontaine, great job, Rellon and team, always a pleasure listening. And Anonymous says, excellent, with a very large donation, bringing us to 26.80%.
Oh, wow, that is terrific. Now, listen to me, you know, because we are very real here at Café Blue, and there are a whole lot of, well, they're not, let me rephrase that. We're not a whole lot of people. Just enough people that are legally permitted are here at Café Blue in terms of the crew and what is required for the production. And that applause that you're hearing is what we believe that you want to share with Rellon Brown and the Dominant Seven, and all the other artists to come, Charmaine, who was last week. So that applause, we know, is your virtual applause, and we feel really good that we're able to share that, right?
Yes,
right, Rellon?
yes, we do.
Right. Okay, so Kenny will let me know if we're talking too much.
Right.
But we have some more songs coming up. But before we get into the songs, outside of COVID, what's really going on with Dominant 7 and its trajectory in terms of where you're going to be? Forget COVID, not that you could forget COVID, but you know what I mean. Yeah. What are you guys doing?
Well, pre-COVID, we recorded a live CD, some live music at Chantal Esdel's place in Woodbrook.
Okay.
And
that's part of the Ethnic Jazz Club.
Yes, and we're going to release that soon. And of course, I've been doing a lot of writing, so the material some of the material that you hear today, that you've heard today, is going on our next on another production that we're working on, and we are getting a little more into, well, because live music is now at a premium. It's really important that you do it right. All right. So I'm very pleased to announce that we're in talks with a childhood friend of mine who is, and we are due to do another project in January, a Calypso project in January. Okay, so I put the guys on alert, and you know we've started planning for that already. You know, so we're moving on. In terms of our national exposure, well, we just want to keep it real, meaning that we are continuing to do the work that we believe, and play the music that we believe that best represents us as a people, right? As an independent people who are free thinking and who are intelligent, all right? And so whenever whomsoever gets on board, we are very, very glad to have them hear our music.
Okay, so before we introduce the next two songs, which will be the sort of the finale, the grand finale of the performance here this evening, I just want to say to you, those of you who are viewing, if you want to share the link, it's WACK Radio 90.1 live stream, which is on YouTube and Facebook. And we remind you, I know that the accountant has been running the ticker tape intermittently on the live feed, but the numbers are there. That's let me find them. Let me give a little plug for that, because I guess I have to earn my keep as well. 92251, which is a donation of $5. 92252, a donation of $10. 92253, a donation of $20. 92224, a donation of $50, which is all linked to TSTT, where we have 51% ownership in it. So support TSTT. And of course, our technology partners, Blue Gurus with FundMe, TNT.com. And those of you who are in the diasporas, wherever you are, send to your friends, your relatives, people who love Caribbean music. This is the time to put up. I wouldn't say put up and shut up, but to put up and put up. Okay, so Rellon, next two songs as we kind of bring in the climax.
Okay, so the final two tunes, they actually appear on our homegrown CD, our first CD, and they're kind of special to me because the first one is the first Calypso jazz composition that I've written, and the second one is Forward Home. Actually, Forward Home was written. It was arranged in about an hour and a half in the Little Carib Theatre. We were doing music for TJ and his brothers, a run of TJ and his brothers, and what better way to start the show than with some more Andrew Tanker music? So I found actually Douglas Redon. Shout out to Douglas Redon because he's the first.
Dougie, yes.
He's the first guy who put me onto Andrew Tanker's music. Forward Home, actually. All right. It was in another key when I heard it on YouTube, and I went with that particular key because Dougie had it in another key. I guess he was teaching the children at the time. Anyhow, and so we had a little bit of time between runs. All right, because you know theater is very could be tedious at times, and we had about an hour and a half. And I decided, you know what, let me write it, let me arrange it, and we played it for the pre-show.
That was interesting. I didn't know that you all were involved in sort of doing the soundtrack for Tijan and his brothers.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Okay, so let's introduce the next two tracks.
Sure.
Your camera, it's all yours.
Okay, all right. So Trinidad and Tobago, here's New Beginnings and Forward Home. Good evening once again. And our final two numbers for you will actually appear on our homegrown CD, which was launched in 2016, still available on iTunes. The first tune we're going to do is my first Calypso jazz composition called New Beginnings, and a perennial favorite to end, we will have Forward Home by Andrew Tanker. Good evening, and thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting local culture.
Okay. We take you back to Josanne Leonard and Rellon Brown. Can I do some accounting before we get to you?
Definitely. This is your gig too.
Okay. So just to let you all know, we have seen the contributions in the text platform, and we thank you so much. We received, well, nobody put their name, but they made some comments. Somebody said, we'll have to rub this train. I don't know what that means. I don't know.
Jesse James.
I'm telling you, the outlaw Josie Wales. I don't know what that means, but we've got some contributions on the text platform, and we thank you so much for understanding. And let's get back to the Fund Me TNT platform. My friend, Mr. Michael Smith, thank you for your contribution. Loving the Trini Jazz from Café Blue, Boston Carnival Village. Right, thank you so much. Anonymous says, listening from Queens, Miss Brenda Jerome, regular contributor, thank you so much. Anthony Scary Jazz supports, enhance, promote, repeat. Anthony Scary Jazz support, enhance, promote, repeat. Thank you for your contribution. And Lennox Garcia, loving the jazz, and brings us to 33.21%.
Oh, that's really good.
So, Josanne and Rellon, you can do a little discussion on where we are and what we're doing and how people can get on board.
Thank you, Kenny. And we were just having, Rellon, I just kind of nipped across by Kenny to whisper in his ear, Diane, it was all above board. And we were talking about what it is that Carl is trying to do here in collaboration with Kenny and a lot of the creatives, which is to build a platform and to build a following for supporting our local music. I'm hearing a lot of stuff behind the scenes there. We have a few people here. I mean, we're not breaking any regulations, but we're hearing quite some noise behind there. But seriously, this idea of this, it's not just about COVID. It's about the fact that, you know, we all subscribe to Netflix and all the cable channels and what have you. But our creatives have to face a lot of challenges. COVID has just made it 100, 1,000 times exponentially worse, if you will. The idea of this series, and I'm happy that you're being a part of it, the idea of this series at Folks Home is that we're building our cultural confidence. We're building our cultural capital. We're building an industry. We're building wealth and innovation around who we are. Our music, our artists like Rellon and Dominant 7. Last week we brought you Charmaine Ford. Next week there's going to be Carlton Alexander and any number of artists, some of whom you know and some of whom you don't know. But without the support and without embracing that who we are, Rellon, and the way you can make that real, you know, I get daily notices from the Democratic National Congress, maybe because of something that I read. And so they have me on a database, and every single day I get at least 15 emails from Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, whatever. Not that I'm a Democrat, I'm just saying, we have to support our own.
Exactly.
I want you to make a plug for you, Dominant 7, and the fact that this is how you all earn. And this is the way in which our artists, and if we could actually keep the little noise off stage a little down, please, we're live, so that you at home, whether it's $5, whether it's $10, whether it's $15, $20, $50, it takes money to make the engines roll. This is not a charity case. We subscribe to all kinds of things foreign.
Yep.
We subscribe to all kinds of people and artists foreign. And it's time that we use this opportunity of COVID to support our WACK, to support our Café Blue, to support all the artists who are coming in here to build the capacity and to build the cultural confidence and the output of Trinidad and Tobago and by extension the Caribbean. Don't get me started on that, Kenny? Okay? Don't get me started on that. $5. Listen, we're talking about, you know, I don't want to be crude, talking about a box of, people say about a box of dead. A box of chicken and chips. I'm not going to call a brand. Make a contribution to invest in your son, your daughter, the future artists of the Trinidad and Tobago. Invest in them. It's a small contribution to make.
It is.
You have anything to say on that, Bruds?
I would like to thank the people who have contributed today, and I want to encourage people to support your culture, support the things that are invisible, support the glue that really binds us together, because these are the cultural artifacts, the things, our norms, the traditions that we have, the music, the food, and so on. These are the things that are part of our collective conscience that we can draw on when we leave Trinidad and when we go abroad and the cold hit you or some crisis hits, you harken back to, okay, mommy's sweet bread, daddy's music, you know, and you identify with that, okay? But you shouldn't have to leave in order to appreciate it, okay? You appreciate it now, and you appreciate the people. You appreciate people like myself and people like the members of my band and the whole host of really fabulous musicians and artists and writers that we have here that are producing content that is coming out of the bowels of this nation, right?
Kenny, we have the numbers running on the screen?
Yeah, we've had it running on the screen, and I can put it again anytime.
Yep.
And just to let you know that while y'all was speaking, the numbers went to 33.55%.
Way!
You know what I mean?
Very good.
You know, I would like to know that we could get to at least 50% today.
It'll be nice.
Yeah, this is not a fundraiser. This is people who work.
This is salary.
This is salary. This is musicians and artists who get up every day, and through their creativity, they make us feel good. They create the music, the art. Well, we're talking about musicians in this case.
Mm-hmm.
The songs that we dance to,
Yes.
the music that uplifts our spirits, the thing that we get a tabanka on, the thing that reminds us of something that is in our collective memory or consciousness.
Yes.
This is what we're investing in people. We're not talking about, you know, for the comments, and we welcome all comments, whether you like it or you don't like it. If you think it's too much talk, here's what. We've got to talk. We've got to find our voice.
That's right.
We have got to say who we are. We've got to represent. We've got to come to the table.
Correct.
Preach, Rellon. Yes, darling.
I look at it this way. Once you could do something that takes my mind away from the present COVID situation and the pressures of home and work and no money and sickness and everything, you have done a job for me.
That's right.
And once you have done that job, you make me smile, make me sing along, you make me tap my foot, I should contribute. And it's as little as $1 US, as little as $5 TT, to as much as $50 TT.
Or more.
Or more.
Yeah.
Which would be so much less than if you had to pay to get here, pay to come in the venue, put on clothes, and
that's right.
Pay your transport, and especially if you have to come from abroad to come here. Because this is how we are working, and this is how we will be working for a little while to come.
Well, you know, actually, Kenny and Rellon, I think that it's not just about a little time to come. I think that this medium was always with us, but it's always difficult to use the fancy word to monetize it. But now we have an opportunity to actually, you can sit where you are, you can discover. You know, I think about this as discovery. Maybe there are many people who know Rellon and the Dominant 7 Calypso Jazz Band. There are many people who know Charmaine Ford and Carlton Zander Alexander, who's going to be our next artist in concert next week, and many others. But there are many creatives who are coming and who are on the periphery as well, who make such a sterling contribution, who add to that thing that is not just about, you know, it's not just about the money. If it was just about the money, the artist wouldn't be here. To believe you me, I believe that.
Yeah.
So please, you can make a contribution. It is not a charity. This is about real work that people do. And people like Carl Jacobs and the crew around him, people like Kenny Phillips, my partner from a long time, and he's a Sando boy. It takes a lot to keep us on the radar. And you can help to keep this possible and to keep this alive and to keep artists paid and to keep our culture alive and our music and other forms alive by making some small contributions. Nobody asking you to go and find $5,000. $5, $10, $20, $50 makes a huge difference. As the Jamaicans say, Rellon, one cocoa, full basket. Eh?
Exactly.
One cocoa. Do we have any more music? Oh, we have more music to come, Rellon?
Actually, no.
A man say we talking plenty, yeah, but we have more music to come?
Actually, no, unfortunately. Not today, actually.
Not today. So this was a kind of, Kenny and I were talking earlier, and we said we kind of have, you know, after the show,
Yeah.
you have the after show. So I'm going to wait for him to tell me it's time for us to shut up.
Okay, great.
But, I mean, you know, now we have a chance, while he allows us, because he's the man controlling the buttons, to talk a little bit about really a little more about yourself and the band Dominant 7, and where you see yourself, what's really, where you're going.
Yeah.
What are the things that are really important?
Well, I've started thinking about creating, and I spoke to some of the members of the band already about it, about creating a language, a parlance for calypso jazz. All right. When bebop started, it was one of the progenitors was Dizzy Gillespie. Another was Charlie Parker. All right. Charlie Parker was the creative genius. Didn't live very long. But Dizzy Gillespie was the one who arranged music and wrote phrases that became stock phrases that people rehearsed and emulated. All right. We have to start to do stuff like that. We have to literally take things and strategically create things that represent us. So they are called from many different aspects of music. All right, because it's jazz we're talking about, and the guys you see here have all studied improvisation, but they're Trinidadians. So the way we improvise is going to be markedly different from anybody else.
From a Wynton Marsalis or anybody like this.
Exactly.
Before we go any further, I just need to check in with our producer, Kenny, to make sure that we don't have to. Do we have to wrap up the show, Kenny, and then come back? Because what we thought we would do is we would talk with the artists a little bit after the actual live performance. Yeah. So we don't really want to hold people who may not want to be here. So can you just give us a right cue?
Yes, this is the wrap-up cue.
Okay, this is the wrap-up cue. Okay.
Well, let's just say thank you to all who contributed. We got some more contributions taking us to 33.89%.
Well, that's great.
Right?
Great.
Thank you, Miss Marcia Roberts, and thank you, Mr. Andrew Bruce of Caribbean Jazz Lounge.
Bruce.
And he's looking forward to your next CD. So he says, stay blessed.
Okay.
And Miss Josanne, thank you so much for your knowledge and insight and your ambience that you brought to this program.
Oh, yes,
indeed.
Yes, indeed.
Rellon, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
And until we meet again, right, Miss Josanne?
Yeah, I think Rellon needs to tell to the viewers who may like the music to know where to get the music, if you have CDs out, where they can download.
Yes, so you can get CDs directly from myself. You can contact me on Facebook or Instagram.
And that is Rellon?
That is Rellon Brown on Facebook, or Dominant 7th Productions on Facebook, or Rellon B on Instagram. Additionally, our CD Homegrown is available on iTunes. So if you can't get the actual copy, the physical copy, you can get the digital download.
Well, Rellon, I mean, this is the part of the show when I have to say thank you so much for agreeing to be part of this innovative and groundbreaking series to sort of bring local artists to the fore.
Yes,
and to earn as well. Yeah. Thank you so much. And to all the members of your band who were here as well,
yes.
Dominant 7.
Yes.
But hang on, because we're going to carry on a little chat afterwards. I mean, at the behest of Mr. Phillips.
At the behest, yes.
And of course, to all of you who have taken the time to stay with us for the last hour and plus, listen to the music, to the chat, to getting to know the artists. Thank you so much for joining in on the Live at Café Blue series. This is the second installment of something that is going to be interminable. It's an opportunity in crisis, thanks to Carl Jacobs and Kenny Phillips and all of the artists. And if you, as an artist, big name, small name, in between name, get in touch with Carl. The venue is here. It's fantabulous. And to all of you who enjoy our music, who enjoy our artists, and who want to feel bolstered, support local music, support local culture. All of the programs will be available for, well, I think for a few days, but they're going to be on the WACK FM live stream, the YouTube channel, and on Facebook. And you can continue to contribute on GoFund TNT and the other, well, maybe not the text, but certainly GoFund TNT. Please, GoFund TNT.
No, Fund Me TNT.
Fund Me TNT, sorry, Fund Me TNT. Please support our artists. Thank you very much for you viewing. Next week we'll be here, same time, Café Blue, live, music, Carlton, Xander, Alexander. Good night. Join us for the after talk.